Hi, this is Siva Girmala. This is the sixth video in the series of building a data warehouse project based on US County business patterns. In the last video, we built a cube based on data warehouse we created earlier, and we explored through data sources, data source views, and we built the dimensions and measures, and we formatted some of the measures, and then we built hierarchies on dimensions, and we processed a cube, and then we browsed the cube in Visual Studio, and we browsed the cube in Excel, and we created some line charts and column charts, etc. And in this video we are going to do some aggregations and partitioning for the fact tables, and if possible we'll create a KPI based on the timing. Okay, let's go to Visual Studio, and here we are. We have already seen this, and we browsed the cube earlier, and we would like to go through created partitions for the fact tables, and this is an existing partition, and here is the corresponding aggregations for that partition. So if we want to create a new partition, probably we will delete this partition and then create a new one, and then you can delete this partition. Keep in mind, at this point of time you don't have any data to browse. We are done. So we are as if we are starting from fresh and creating the partitions, and then we have to aggregate the data in the partitions, and then we can browse the cube. That's where we are now, and we are going to create a new partition, and we are selecting the fact table because we need to select at least one fact table. So we have only one fact table, and here we are going to write a query for building the partition. We are going to do this partitioning based on year. We are going to create only two partitions. They will. Okay, we are making this partition from 1998 to 2005, and we are going to create only two partitions. And I made a mistake earlier, so I want to correct it, and I deleted some portion of the video, and then I came back, and we are continuing here. So let's go. And we are processing this partition at the current server instance, and the default location we are not going to touch that, leave it as it is. And here we are going to name the partition as from 1998 to 2005. So this is a mistake I made earlier. Okay, I corrected that, so we are good. And design the aggregations for the partitioning now. That's the option we selected here, and it is how we are going to aggregate this partition. We are going to select one of those options here, and aggregation usage we can leave them as defaults, and here we need to mention how many number of rows in the partition. So if you click on this count button, it will populate this partition count. It did that. It's about 17 million, and then we can click next, and here we have four options. We can select any one of these, but we are going to select this. Stop the aggregations when the performance reaches about 30%. This is the one of the best practices we want to follow. Someone from Pragmatic Work mentioned that this is the option they will exercise when they are doing aggregations, so we'll go with that, and we will start aggregating, and it reached 30% of query performance. Then it stopped, and then we can click next, and then we are going to name this aggregation as 1998 to 2005, and save the aggregations but do not process them. We selected that option. Once we created the second partition also, then we will process both at the same time. So we can click finish here, and we can see what is the sequel here again, and this is from 1998 to 2005. Very good. And the naming convention, naming of the aggregation design is 1998 to 2005. That's good. And let's create the second partition, and we have to follow the same steps again, and we need to select the fact table here, and then query, and then the year, and we want to leave this partition as an open-ended partition, because if we are going to process say 2012 data, so that that data will be processed in this partition. So we'll mention that year greater than or equal to 2006. So this partition will be from greater than 2006. You can click next, check the syntax. That's good. Let's go, and we leave these defaults, and then we are naming the partition as 2006 and greater. Design aggregations for the partition now. Okay, we'll do that, and here we can leave these at defaults, aggregation usage, and then we need to estimate the count. Okay, partition is about 13 million rows. Partition count, and then we can click next, and we are selecting this 30%. Stop aggregating after reaching 30% of query performance. Performance gain reaches 30%. That's what we did. And next, and then we are going to name this 2006 and greater, and we are not going to save, but we are not going to process the aggregations. So we created these two partitions, and we can process the cube. Save the cube. Okay, I would like to proceed. Okay, and here we'll process the cube based on these two aggregations. Before processing the cube, let's have a look at the aggregations. We have 4 aggregations here. This one, these two are created just now. They are here, but even though you deleted the partitions, but still the aggregations existing here. So we can delete these aggregations. This is a mistake I made earlier. So we can delete this aggregation. We don't need that aggregation, and we don't need this. We need only these two aggregations. Now we can process the cube. Yeah, we know that. And let's process the cube. Process full, yes. And it is going to take a couple of minutes here. Probably I will stop the video and then come back, or I will speed up the video once we are done recording. it finished the first partition and it is working on the second partition. And we can look at here, building the aggregations and the indexes. Maybe in next 30 seconds probably it will be done. Okay, yeah, it processed the cube, so we can close this, and then let's go to cube structure. Let's see whether I break anything. And reconnect, build, rebuild. Okay, let's browse the cube. And repair all. Yeah, we have that. And state county. Yeah, we have that information. And dim year. Okay, we are we did the partitioning and we did the aggregations. Probably we are about maybe more than 10 minutes or something like that. And before we take on the next step, I would like to show you something here. And let's go to this DSV. And if you look at this table names, still we have dim Nikes and dim county and then dim year. But for the end user point of view, if you say dimension, that doesn't make any sense. Probably we need to rename these dimensions as Nikes, year and county, and remove the fact in the fact table. That we have to do. We'll do that.